Have you ever texted, "Sorry I can't make it tonight," for the third time this month? Then felt that wave of relief the second you hit send? Followed immediately by crushing guilt? Or maybe you've spent hours crafting the perfect excuse to cancel plans, knowing deep down you just wanted to stay in your comfortable space, and then spent the rest of the night wondering, what's wrong with me? What if I told you this habit of choosing home over social events isn't a character flaw? It's actually your mind protecting something incredibly precious. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be one of the wisest decisions you make. If you've ever felt broken or antisocial for preferring your couch over a crowded party, if friends have called you a flake or asked, "Why don't you ever go out?" If you've wondered why everyone else seems to thrive on constant socializing while you feel drained, this video is for you. Because what society calls antisocial or boring, psychology calls something entirely different. We're about to uncover 7 hidden strengths behind this behavior, and I promise you, the last one will completely reframe how you see yourself. So let's walk this path together. By the end, you won't just understand yourself better. You'll realize you've been carrying a gift all along. 1. You value deep rest over surface fun. Have you ever left a social event early, came home, and finally felt like you could breathe again? Not because the event was bad, but because something in you was screaming, "This isn't rest, this is work." While everyone around you seems to recharge by being around people, you recharge through stillness, through silence, through solitude. And here's what most people don't understand. Your nervous system is highly attuned to energy exchange. Social events demand constant output. You're reading body language, managing impressions, filtering words, maintaining conversations. It's performance, even when it's enjoyable. Home, on the other hand, equals input. It's where you restore your inner battery without the weight of performance. This isn't laziness or antisocial behavior. This is profound self-awareness. You've learned to honor your energy like it's precious fuel, because it is. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. Think of it like this. Some people are solar panels. They charge in the light of others. You're more like a deep cycle battery. You need quiet, sustained charging to function at your best. Neither is better. They're just different energy systems, and you've learned which one you are. But there's something even deeper going on. Something about the quality of connection you seek. 2. You filter for meaningful connection. Do you feel exhausted by small talk? Does it feel almost painful to discuss the weather or weekend plans when all you want is to understand how someone really feels? Have you ever left a conversation thinking, "That was 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back"? You're not being judgmental or elitist. Your brain is wired to crave depth over breadth. Surface interactions feel empty to you, not because they're wrong, but because they don't feed your soul. Research shows that people with high emotional intelligence often prefer fewer, deeper relationships. Your mind doesn't just want to know what someone does, it wants to know who they are, the struggles they carry, the dreams they hide, the version of themselves they show only in safe spaces. When you cancel plans for a shallow social event, you're not avoiding people. You're protecting your capacity for genuine connection. You refuse to waste your limited social energy on interactions that don't nourish you. And that's a rare gift in a world drowning in superficial exchanges. I once turned down a networking event to have a 2-hour phone call with a friend going through a divorce. People said I missed an opportunity, but I gained something far more valuable. True intimacy. That's the trade you make when you choose depth. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your preference for home is also protecting your creative mind. 3. You honor your creative rhythm. Do your best ideas come when you're alone? Have you ever noticed that after a quiet evening at home, you wake up with sudden clarity about a problem? Or that your most creative moments happen in silence, not stimulation? This isn't coincidence. Your mind needs solitude to process, synthesize, and create. While others generate ideas through brainstorming sessions, you generate them through introspection. Neuroscience shows that creativity requires the brain's default mode network to activate. This network only turns on during quiet, unstructured time. Walks, showers, sitting alone with your thoughts. Constant social stimulation keeps this network off. So when you choose home over social chaos, you're literally choosing creativity. Every artist, writer, thinker, and innovator knows this secret. Creation requires solitude. Your need to cancel plans isn't avoidance. It's preservation of your creative life force. You're not hiding from the world. You're preparing to offer it something original. Think of your mind like a still pond. When you're constantly socializing, it's like throwing rocks into the water. Ripples everywhere, no clear reflection. When you stay home, the water settles. The reflection becomes crystal clear. That's when you see what's really there. But there's something your nervous system is doing that even you might not realize. If any of these strengths are resonating with you right now, if you're finally feeling seen instead of judged, know that you're not alone. Thousands of people are watching this right now, nodding along, thinking, finally, someone understands. This channel is built for people like us, who think deeply, feel everything, and need space to process it all. If you want to keep uncovering these hidden truths about yourself, subscribe and turn on notifications. We're walking this path together. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful. Something your body has been doing to protect you all along. 4. You're protecting your nervous system. Have you ever come home from socializing and felt like you needed 3 days to recover? Or noticed that crowded places make your heart race, even when there's no danger? Maybe you've been called too sensitive or dramatic for needing so much recovery time. Your nervous system isn't broken. It's brilliant. You're not weak for needing space after social events. You're highly attuned, and that's a survival gift. Some nervous systems are wired with lower thresholds for stimulation. It's called sensory processing sensitivity, and about 20% of people have it. Loud environments, bright lights, multiple conversations happening at once. Your brain processes all of it. Most people filter 80% of stimuli automatically. You absorb almost all of it. So when you cancel plans, you're not being difficult. You're preventing nervous system overload. And here's what's fascinating. This heightened sensitivity means you notice what others miss. The shift in someone's tone, the tension in a room before anyone speaks, the beauty in a sunset that makes others glance once and move on. You don't just live in the world, you experience it in high definition. That's not a flaw. That's a superpower that requires careful energy management. I once forced myself to attend a loud concert because I didn't want to disappoint a friend. I spent the entire next day in bed, completely depleted, almost non-functional. Now I know. That wasn't weakness. That was my body screaming, "This is too much input." Listening to that signal isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. And here's what's fascinating. This sensitivity connects to something even deeper. 5. You're honoring your authentic self. How many times have you forced yourself to go out just to avoid feeling guilty, or said yes to plans you didn't want, then spent days dreading it? Have you ever realized you were performing a version of yourself that isn't even real? Living according to others' expectations is exhausting. Every time you cancel plans to stay home, you're practicing something radical: authenticity. You're saying, "This doesn't align with who I truly am," and that's okay. Psychology calls this self-congruence, when your actions match your inner truth. Studies show that people with high self-congruence report greater life satisfaction and lower anxiety. When you force yourself into social situations that drain you, you create internal conflict. Your body knows the truth even when your mind tries to convince you otherwise. Choosing home is choosing congruence. This isn't avoidance, this is integrity. You're refusing to betray yourself for social approval, and that takes more courage than most people realize. Because it's easier to say yes and suffer quietly than to say no and face judgment. But you're choosing the harder path, the authentic one. Imagine wearing shoes 2 sizes too small every day. Everyone says they look great on you, but they're killing your feet. Eventually, you have to take them off, not because you're weak, but because you value your well-being over appearances. Social expectations are those tight shoes, and choosing to stay home is finally taking them off. But here's something you might not have considered. Your choice to stay home is also a form of self-respect. 6. You're setting healthy boundaries. Have you noticed that the people who judge you most for staying home are often the ones who don't respect your boundaries in other areas? Or that when you do go out to please someone, they don't even notice your sacrifice? Saying no to plans isn't rejection, it's boundary setting. And boundaries are the foundation of healthy relationships. People who truly care about you will respect your need for space. Those who don't, they're showing you who they are. Psychologist Henry Cloud says, "Boundaries define where I end and you begin." When you cancel plans, you're essentially saying, "My energy has limits, and I'm responsible for protecting them." This isn't selfish, it's self-responsible. People without boundaries burn out, become resentful, and lose themselves. You're preventing that by honoring your limits now. Every time you choose home, you're practicing boundary setting. You're teaching people how to treat you. You're showing them, I value myself enough to honor my needs. And that's not antisocial. That's emotionally mature. Most people spend their entire lives learning what you already know. Your energy is finite and precious. I had a friend who would get upset every time I said no to her last-minute plans. I felt guilty until I realized she never asked if I was available. She just expected me to comply. That wasn't friendship. That was control. When I started honoring my boundaries, she faded away, and healthier friendships took her place. The right people will stay when you set boundaries. The wrong ones will leave. Either way, you win. And now, the final strength. The one that changes everything. 7. You trust your inner compass. Have you ever had a feeling, not logical, just a feeling that you shouldn't go somewhere? And you listened to it, stayed home, and later heard the event was terrible? Or ignored it, forced yourself to go and immediately regretted it? That feeling? That's your inner compass. And canceling plans to stay home is you finally learning to trust it. Most people override their intuition their entire lives to fit in. You're doing something different, something rare. Your intuition is your subconscious mind connecting dots that your conscious mind can't see yet. When something feels off about plans, your body knows before your mind does. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio calls this somatic markers, your body's wisdom. When you honor that pull to stay home, you're not being irrational. You're listening to intelligence that's deeper than logic. This is the ultimate strength. You've learned to trust yourself more than you trust social pressure. You value inner peace more than external validation. You listen to your truth even when it's unpopular. And in a world that constantly tells you to ignore your instincts, that makes you not just strong, but free. Think of your inner compass like a whisper in a noisy room. Most people never hear it because they're too busy listening to everyone else. You've learned to quiet the noise long enough to hear what your soul is actually saying. That's not isolation. That's liberation. So now you know. These aren't weaknesses. They're strengths. But here's what you need to understand moving forward. So here's the truth you need to hear. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace over chaos. It's not about forcing yourself to be normal. It's about allowing yourself to be conscious. Canceling plans to stay home isn't a character flaw. It's a boundary. It's your inner compass saying, this doesn't serve me right now. And the people who truly love you, they'll understand. They'll respect it, and if they don't, that tells you more about them than it does about you. You're not broken. You're not antisocial. You're not missing out. You're just finally learning to honor yourself. And that, my friend, is the strongest thing you can do. Your sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's your disguised superpower. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 strengths hit you the hardest? Was it the nervous system protection? The boundary setting? The trust in your inner compass? Share your story in the comments because your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read today to stop feeling broken. And if this video gave you the permission you've been waiting for to honor yourself, please like it, subscribe to this channel, and share it with that one friend who also mysteriously cancels plans, because they need to hear this too. In the next video, we'll explore why you overthink every decision and what your mind is trying to tell you. Until then, honor your energy. Protect your peace, trust your compass. You never have to walk this path alone.